Significant roster changes are brewing within the Carolina Panthers organization. Information suggests a strategic pivot is underway, with the team's veteran backup quarterback and a rotational edge rusher identified as primary candidates for release to create vital cap flexibility. If you love the Panthers, help us reach our 1,000 subscriber goal. Stay tuned for the full report. I am reporting today on significant roster movements brewing within the Carolina Panthers organization as the front office begins to finalize its strategy for the upcoming league year. Sources close to the situation indicate that the Panthers are actively evaluating the contracts of several veteran players, with quarterback Andy Dalton emerging as a primary candidate for release. This development comes as General Manager Dan Morgan and head coach Dave Canales look to reshape the roster's financial structure and inject youth into the depth chart. The reality in the National Football League is that roster construction is a zero-sum game, and the Panthers are currently scrutinizing the value proposition of carrying a premium-priced veteran backup quarterback. Andy Dalton, who signed a 2-year contract initially designed to provide mentorship and stability behind first overall pick Bryce Young, has performed admirably when called upon. We saw him step in during Week 3 of the previous season against the Seattle Seahawks, throwing for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns, proving he can still operate an NFL offense at a competent level. However, the financial implications of keeping the 36-year-old veteran are now weighing heavily against the team's need for cap flexibility. Alongside Dalton, edge rusher Patrick Jones II is also being highlighted as a potential cap casualty. Jones, who was acquired to bolster the pass rush rotation, has not solidified a long-term role that justifies his current cap hit in the eyes of the new regime. The decision to potentially move on from Dalton is not an indictment of his performance, but rather a strategic pivot. The front office is looking at the salary cap ledger and seeing millions of dollars tied up in a backup quarterback and a rotational edge defender, funds that could be reallocated to retain core defensive pieces or sign starting caliber talent on the offensive line. When you look at the analytics of roster management, paying a premium for a mentor figure becomes difficult to justify for a team that is in the midst of a comprehensive rebuild and needs to maximize every single dollar of available space to raise the overall talent floor of the 53-man roster.
When we analyze the implications of releasing Andy Dalton, it signals a distinct shift in philosophy for the Carolina Panthers regarding their quarterback room. By moving on from Dalton, the organization would be effectively stating that the era of paying for veteran insurance is over, and the focus is now entirely on developing a sustainable, long-term pipeline. The expectation around the league is that if Carolina executes this move, they will look to target a younger, significantly cheaper quarterback option, likely through the middle or late rounds of the upcoming NFL draft, or perhaps by signing a developmental prospect with upside. This strategy aligns with the vision of Dave Canales, who has a track record of maximizing quarterback talent and may prefer to mold a younger player in his system rather than relying on a veteran with set habits. The cap space created by cutting Dalton and Patrick Jones II, while not massive in isolation, provides the necessary liquidity to make lower-tier roster moves that are essential for special teams and depth. From a locker room perspective, losing Dalton does remove a respected voice and a stabilizing presence for Bryce Young. However, the front office is betting that Young is ready to take full ownership of the offense without the immediate safety net of a former starter looking over his shoulder. My verdict on this potential move is that it is a prudent, albeit cold, business decision. The Panthers are not in a window where a luxury backup quarterback makes sense financially. They need to allocate resources to players who will take snaps on Sundays and contribute to winning games immediately. This is about efficiency and modernizing the roster profile. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe the Panthers are making a mistake by removing the veteran safety net behind Bryce Young, or is it time to use that money to build the rest of the roster? Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now to stay ahead of every breaking story and roster move as we navigate the offseason together.